Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game Over Edmonton. I hope you're having a good night. My name is Ash. I'm your host. And thanks for joining me as the Oilers blow it. They blow it 3-2 in the shootout versus the Detroit Red Wings. How are we feeling? Well, we have a couple interesting storylines coming into tonight. John Klingberg, welcome to the team. I know a lot of people are excited for him, and there was this one quote I want to mention that he said. He said that he's always been playing through hip pain, like throughout his career, and that right now is the first time that he's ever been able to play without pain because he had to get hip surgery. I think double hip surgery when he was 18 and 21. I mean, I think that's just beautiful. It's always great to hear when a player is able to play without pain. I'm really happy to hear that. Congratulations to John Klingberg. Welcome to Edmonton. He was playing most of his minutes with Ekholm as the Oilers switch up their defensive lines tonight. Pretty interesting. We see Nurse and Bouchard on the top line, and we're seeing Ekholm and Klingberg on the second line. Now, the Oilers still blow it. They blow it, and they lose in the shootout. So, how good did those lines fare? I mean, I thought Nurse Bouchard was pretty good. I thought Bouchard was just far and away the best Oilers defenseman tonight. I didn't really like Ekholm and Klingberg together. Didn't really like Ekholm's game tonight. For all the heat that Evan Bouchard gets for being a giveaway monster, Ekholm gave away like more than 5 times. Big defensive zone giveaways just multiple times over and over again, but you won't see the media talking about Ekholm giving the puck away all the time. You won't see other people talking about that, even though it's just objectively true that that's the case. And I thought Klingberg had some good passes, but I think that we should probably shelter his minutes a bit. As on that second was it the first Red Wings goal? Yeah, the Rasmussen one. He just lets Klingberg just lets Rasmussen skate right by him. He's like pointing at him, not covering him, and he gets the deflection behind him, and the Red Wings score. It's 2-1. If Evan Bouchard made that mistake, you hear that all the Oilers media would just be talking nonstop about it, but because it wasn't. I've seen people blame that on Skinner. I mean, I get it. It's his first game back. Klingberg, you got to be better than that. You just got to cover the man. You just got to cover the man on the rush there. That's both of the Oilers' goals were against the rush. This is very, very common. The Oilers are very bad about. Well, I don't want to say bad. The Oilers are a top 10. Some might even say top 5 defensive team in the league. But their biggest weakness is against the rush, and you saw it here tonight. Janias, first game with Klingberg, we don't need him. Get him out of the lineup. Yeah, I mean, listen, Janias, if you're the one saying that Bouchard played better, then, something was wrong. I thought, he definitely needs to be sheltered in his minutes. He should not be playing second-line minutes coming back off of an injury like that. He needs to be playing with Kulak on that third line. I really think so. I really think it's unfair to put him on such hard matchups. I guess it's not the most difficult matchups because we're going to Nurse Bouchard, but still, I really don't think that Ekholm and Klingberg worked very well tonight. I think both of them made a lot of mistakes, and Klingberg just on the goal, just a horrible effort. Oilers always struggle about this. Struggles in quotes because it's always relative, but both goals against the rush, they missed the man. You hear me talking about it night in, night out. It's all the time. Klingberg officially negative 85 in his career. We knew this. We knew this coming in. We knew he was just supposed to be someone to maybe get a third offensive line going. a third pairing going offensively. But we're playing him second line. We don't need him to play the second line. We really don't. We have Nurse and, I mean, we usually play him with Stetcher, but Emerson can absolutely fill that role too. Have we won more games on a comeback than when we score first? No, we win when we score first, like a lot. The Oilers score first a lot, and they win a lot when they score first. If the Oilers don't get the first goal, it's pretty much all of their losses. This was a few shows ago, but I think the Oilers were 13 of their 16 losses, but a couple weeks ago came when they were scored on first. The Oilers definitely don't play better from behind. I mean, there was that period in December where they were kind of a comeback team, but this Oilers team is definitely better when they're getting the first goal. This game and last game we lost by scoring first. We didn't lose last game. Oh, I got the last game that we lost. Yes, that is true. But overall, the Oilers are definitely a team that should be playing better when they're ahead. It was I mean, I've already given Klingberg the his heat for his goal, which people will say it's on Skinner. That's a horrible deflection to try and save. I mean, there's just no effort really from Klingberg. I mean, he's extending his arm out to I think he's signaling for the forward to cover it. No, that's his job. That's your job, man. You got to cover that. That's just, I don't know. That's just that's really bad. That is really, really bad. And then Corey Perry, man, Boosh skates the puck into the offensive zone. This is very common. Every single Oilers defenseman does this, and I love it when they do this. Whenever Nurse or Emberson or Bouchard or even Kulak does this as well, they jump up in the play. It leads to really good offensive chances because it usually means odd man rush. Usually means the Oilers are taking advantage of some sort of numbers mismatch going into the zone. But that always means a forward needs to come back and cover. And you see when Nurse does this, there is people coming back to cover. And when Bush does this, Corey Perry is there to cover. But what happens? I think it's Dylan Larkin. Is it? Yeah, Larkin. It just literally just fucking, excuse my language, just gets right by him. Literally just gets right by him. And Kulak and Emberson are just out of the way. Larkin's able to get by him. It's, I don't know. It was right after the Klingberg goal too. That effort from Perry. I mean, I know he's on the older side. I know he can't skate that fast, but I mean, if that's the case, then the Oilers should know not that Perry can't be the one to cover. You got to have a winger, not a winger, but someone who's not Corey Perry to be able to cover there. Because, I mean, Larkin, he beat Connor McDavid in a fastest skater competition. You got to be aware. You got to be aware he's on the ice. It's just rough. Cool story when the Oilers versus Detroit with the Oilers 184. I mean, those barn burners are amazing. Buddy Joey went to the game. He's a Detroit fan and always goes to his game. At least he got to enjoy the win. I mean, good for your buddy Joey. I got to enjoy the previous Oilers win in Detroit. I was in Detroit in October 27 when they won in overtime. Corey Perry had a fight. It was a pretty good game. Draisaitl. It was a wonderful game from Draisaitl, actually. I think it was the game before Connor McDavid got hurt. Because Connor McDavid got hurt in the next game against Columbus. And I mean, tonight, this one also goes to extra time. But the Oilers, they take not a good penalty. Hyman takes a bad penalty in the overtime, and it's a good kill. It's a good kill from Emberson and Nurse and Nuge. They do a really good job of blocking pucks, of denying some good chances, but it's rough. It really is. And I mean, you even saw it with the ice. The ice was getting rough. McDavid bobbles the 2-on-1 with Bouchard. Oh my God. And Bouchard as well, I thought, had a really good overtime. Really good defensive overtime. He had a really good defensive game tonight, I thought. And then there was also in the shootout with Nuge, and he bobbles the puck. Oh, the ice just needed a scrape. Maybe just one scrape. Maybe. I don't know. A lot that could have went the Oilers' way, but didn't tonight. But that's just kind of my lead-in. as we move into our second period here. Going to give a read for our sister show, Hyperdrive Hockey. Shift into Hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your news source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing in a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Hout, Daphne Malbuff, and Kevin Larme every Monday and Thursday for your fill on the hockey world. Watch on YouTube on the Game Over Network channel, or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. Head to our website, thegameovernetwork.com, for more. All right. So, how do the Oilers blow this? Oilers are all over the place in the first period. They're all over the Red Wings, and even into the second period. They get like one shot in 10 minutes. How did the Oilers blow this? Well, it comes to the fact that, as much as Podkolzin, Arvidsson, I think, are good possession players, can they score? Not really. I mean, that was Podkolzin's problem in Vancouver. Arvidsson, I mean, he's here to replace Warren Foegele, a guy who notoriously could not score. But we do have a scoring winger in our lineup. And you know where he is? He's been healthy scratched. Or tonight, he was on the third line and played very well. A very well 200-foot game from Jeff Skinner. Oh my God! And that third period, that puck that he just steals on the 2-on-1, when he covers for a Bouche pinch, which Corey Perry, take notes. Oh my God! Like this guy, and I mean, he gets the goal tonight. He gets the dirty rebound. Oh, it's a garbage goal. That is a garbage man type goal. Because Bouchard to Nurse to Hyman for the breakout pass. Oh, Nurse, what a pass. This is what I like to see. Bouchard is great at this. Nurse, Emerson, great at this. Ekholm, not as great as it. That's why Bouchard plays very well with him. But Klingberg, I didn't think they had a lot of really great passes. Klingberg made some good ones, but I didn't think that he's obviously not as good at passing as Bouchard. And Ekholm, that's not his strong suit. See him give the puck over when he does that. And that's why you saw them go back to Bouchard Ekholm trying to get the goal in the third period. But I digress. From all of that. Jeff Skinner should be playing on the second line. I mean, he's 100% deserved it. We know that Arvidsson and Podkolzin cannot score, even though Draisaitl is setting them up beautifully. Oh my God, who does this remind me of? It reminds me of Warren Foegele. It reminds me of Ryan McLeod, possession merchant, who still playing better than Adam Henrique, who had some good moments tonight, had some not so good moments. But that's neither here nor there. Skinner, the second line. I mean, you just gotta make it happen. I mean, he was playing a really good start to the season up there. Got to put him back. You really got to put him back. And who else would have been a really good scoring winger for the Oilers? Don't make me say it. It's Dylan Holloway. Oh, Dylan Holloway. Oh my God. I just feel like this Oilers team is still like third, fourth in the league. Still first. I think maybe I don't know if Vegas won, so they might be second in the Pacific now. They're still top 5, right, in the league. They're winning more than they were last year. But this team still has problems. And I'm not a fan. Not a fan of some of the moves that we made. Yeah, John Klingberg is probably going to get better, but we need to shelter him first. And, at the end of the day, I think that he could probably be a liability come playoffs, which, I mean, that's what we all care about, right? And then there's also, what else are we going to add? At the trade deadline, are we going to look for, a scoring winger? Are we going to, maybe give Jeff Skinner some playing time? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't really have faith in Stan Bowman to do that, because when has Stan Bowman done that in the last 15 years? Seriously, when has he been able to do that? Look what he did to the Chicago Blackhawks after that roster, won their cups. But no, he's just bringing back all the legends. Maybe Brandon Saad. I feel like if we can get him on a cheap contract, that'd be a nice pickup. But Is that really going to be like our trade deadline? Are we going to pick up just Brandon Saad, John Klingberg, call it a day? I hope not. This is the year to go all in. I mean, every year's the year to go all in. You have McDavid and Draisaitl on your team. Oh, dude, it's rough. It definitely is rough. When the Oilers are dominating possession, they are dominating like all these aspects of the game. And they just can't score. They just can't score goals because even though I thought Lyon, gave up some weak ones early, he obviously didn't let in any more after that. And yeah, I thought that was to the detriment of the Oilers. That they couldn't capitalize on any of their chances. I mean, Hyman playing third line. I mean, Hyman and Skinner played very well, third line. Connor Brown on that top line, man. I did not like him. I did not like him a lot on the top line. I thought they played fine. They played fine. A good defensive game. From Hopkins, McDavid, Brown, but after the after that like going into the third when the Oilers needed a goal, they put Hyman and Hopkins back on the top line, and you know what? They were just way better offensively in the time that they had than they were with Brown. And Brown is another player that doesn't really have a good finishing touch, even though that's what he was brought in to be. All these Oilers playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, and they just can't score. Put Skinner up there. Go out and get a better scoring winger. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Stan Bowman, you have your work cut out for you. Because if this is how the Oilers are going to be scoring come the playoffs, McDavid's going to have to set some playoff records again if we want to make it all the way. Yes. So Janice, as you were typing that, I was at that game. I was there for that 8-4 game last year. I didn't know you were talking about the game last year. I was there. I will read your story come the overtime period once we get there, because it was a bit long, but that was a very fun game and I was there. I'm going to do my read. We get into our third period here. And then I'll give you I'll give you the read. So as we move in to our third period section, I want to give a shout out to our Patreon. Are you looking for ways to help an upstart media company employing over 30 young journalists and analysts across Canada? If you have a few spare bucks kicking around, you can head to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thegameovernetwork. There you'll find multiple tiers featuring different rewards and goodies for helping us grow. There's extra access, exclusive looks behind the scenes, Discord benefits, merch discounts, opportunities to give us feedback, and you can join us for special shows live where you can interact with us as we launch more ways to improve your experience. It's patreon.com/thegameovernetwork for more. Alrighty, third period. Our last section, Stuart Skinner in the shootout. I mean, I know Raymond. I know Larkin are good scorers. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. I like Stuart Skinner, and I think Calvin Pickard's a serviceable backup. But man, if we could flip anything for Karel-Vejmelka out of Utah, I think that'd be a huge upgrade. It's goaltending is definitely the Oilers' weakest spot right now, and finishing, as it is every year. It's goaltending and finishing. How have we known this? We've known this for a very long time now. We need people with a scoring touch, and then not to scratch them. And we need a good upgrade on a goalie, but those are hard to come by these days. A little hard to come by. I mean, like I was saying earlier, you're seeing a lot of reports of Brandon Saad. His $5 million contract just got cut by the Blues. They mutually agreed to terminate it. That's obviously very good for the Blues, and I think good for Brandon Saad. So he can get signed at a cheaper place on a team that's looking for a rental. One thing I will give Bowman credit for is that all these contracts that he signed, none of them are long term, because you know what that does? Lets you pay Bouchard like 8 years at $8-9 million. You keep him around as the number one defenseman, maybe even 10. I would pay him 10. I know some people call it an overpay, but you look at the people who have the exact same numbers as Evan Bouchard, and that's how much they're getting paying, especially in terms of percentage of the cap. And especially when you look at what percentage of the cap Nurse signed for when he signed that contract, and Bouchard is definitely better than Darnell Nurse. I mean, Bouchard covered Darnell Nurse's pinches. Darnell Nurse pinched at the hash marks multiple times in this game, and Evan Bouchard was there to stop those plays. But you don't hear Jack or Louis, who I really like them. You don't hear him talk about it. You don't hear that in a Mark Spector article. You don't hear that in on the radio. He just does not get the credit whenever he makes a play that any other Oilers defenseman would get credit for. It drives me insane. It really does. Oh man, Oilers haven't had a shutout in 50 games. Haven't a shootout in 50 games. Yes, that is true. I can't believe the Oilers had not had a shootout this year. They've been very good in overtime, and they've been very good at closing games out in regulation. I feel like there have not been very many games where the Oilers have let a game go to like regulation, go to overtime. If they're like winning, now there's also something to be said about the fact that the Oilers have not been able to tie a game, when they're down by 1 goal. Maybe 6-on-5. Maybe we can work a little bit there. I know Corey Perry is usually the guy to go out. I mean, he's got a bit of a scoring touch. And there's not as much motion in a 6-on-5, so that's kind of fair. But some thoughts. A lot better than last year so far. I mean, it is better. Like our record is definitely better. My only concern is going into the playoffs, because of course I'm just looking at this team and I'm looking at how it would fare against the Hurricanes or the Panthers or the Dallas Stars or the Golden Knights or the Jets or any of these top teams in a 7-game playoff series. What are the Oilers' weaknesses? Where can they be exploited? Where can we get absolutely just stopped? Like what is something that a team can look to just cut off? Because yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that to like Bouchard, McDavid, Draisaitl, those 3 guys, right? But time and again, relying on those guys in the playoffs has not won the Oilers a cup. We have not had an outstanding goaltender performance. I mean, Stuart Skinner played very well last year, but Bobrovsky was the better goalie, at least in more of the games in the series. We have not had big scoring wingers to aid record performances from our top guys. The regular season and a 7-game series is a lot different, and that is my concern. That's just what I'll say about that. Alrighty, as we move into our overtime segment, we're gonna look at the last, not this year, but last year when the Oilers played the Red Wings. They won 8-4. Connor McDavid 6 assists. That was such a great game. Yeah, I really like the seats at Rogers Place. We were up high as well, but we were like right up against the glass in the upper bowl. The seats are pretty cheap. You get them for like $100 a ticket, and it's so much fun. I really loved that game. Already, I've been excited about this, about this since you mentioned it to me on Monday. But so you were sitting, on L, and I was able to send out a free Walmart Oilers. 1 second. Oh my God. Free Walmart Oilers jersey to someone on the Oilers fan page, and it was for his 10-year-old son. You and Dave continued to chat, so the Oilers, being away all month, and you decided to buy tickets for the father, who hadn't seen an Oilers game since he was about 10 years old, for his 2 boys that were 7 and 9. That's really sweet. So a couple days before the game, I bought the tickets and I was in the upper stands, but it was still an epic experience with them 3. I mean, yeah, like I said, Rogers Place. There's a reason people say it's like the best arena in the league, or the second best. I'm pretty sure it's consistently voted the second best arena by players after the Bell Center. It's a wonderful arena. And you can get pretty cheap tickets too. So you know Joey was going to the game, and you got into the seats, ended up sitting right behind us. In the next row, that's actually crazy. That is, that's actually crazy. When which game did I go to recently? I went to the Kings game, and there were some friends of mine, but they were sitting like way elsewhere, so we had to go meet up in the concourse. So like getting to sit like right next to your friends, that is crazy. Be so close. We both celebrated 4 goals each before the third period started. Oilers score four unanswered. Ton of fun patting Joey on the back, saying there. Yeah, I'm sure he'll get you back for this one, especially in the shootout. Father and 2 sons had an epic time, and I'm glad I was able to buy those seats with a limited budget. McDavid 6 apples. I mean, 100 assist season. Him and Kucherov, first one in a while, in however long that is. That game was definitely a huge part of it. That Detroit game was definitely one of the funnest hockey experiences I'd ever had. That was just a crazy game, and I mean tonight, after those 2 goals in the first, not a lot of action for the Oilers. I mean, obviously not a lot of goals, but they got a lot of shots and a lot of your advanced metrics, your expected goals, your shot attempts. Money Puck has them at 5.7 expected goals. Alex Lyon, after letting in 2 admittedly weak goals in the first period, he kind of stole the show after that. 3.3 goal save above expected. You don't see Skinner putting up those numbers a lot of the time. Now, would I rather have Alex Lyon than Stuart Skinner on the team? No, Alex Lyon is not the best goalie, but how many times do the Oilers make a mediocre goalie look just absolutely stellar? Blue Jackets beat Vegas in overtime. We're still in first. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Blue Jackets. You always make me so happy. You always spoil the best teams. I'll never forget 2019 sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning. Thank you for beating Vegas. What a wonderful franchise. Still first in the division. So where does that put the Oilers in the total league standings? Well, that puts us second in the West, with us 7 points behind the Jets. Dang, what a season they're having. It puts us tied with the Carolina Hurricanes and 6 points behind the Washington Capitals. Puts us tied for third place, fourth place. Pretty good, not gonna lie. And a good opportunity to play against a real good team who's lost 3 in a row. The Toronto Maple Leafs, coming on Saturday, February 1st. You can catch me, and I'm not sure who yet, but that's going to be a crossover episode with Game Over Toronto. Me and the Toronto host I'll be joined with will be able to break that down, have some good rapport, I hope, for the top 2 Canadian teams, at least in terms of points. Senators, 3rd in the Atlantic. They've won 3 in a row. Look at that. Who would have thought? Who would have thought the Senators are on their way up? They're 4 points back of the Maple Leafs. So it's a big game for the Maple Leafs. It's a real big game. That's going to be definitely an exciting one. I don't care so much about winning the President's Trophy, but at least the division. Oh, I mean, 100%. I would love to play a wildcard team. Much rather play a wildcard team like the Flames, Flames just made a big upgrade if you didn't know. They just traded Andrei Kuzmenko, Jacob Peltier, and some draft picks for Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost from the Philadelphia Flyers. That's a big upgrade for them. Wish the Oilers would make a trade like that. I wish they would. I'm just saying, Morgan Frost would be a really nice addition to this Oilers team. The Flames are making good additions. I love Dustin Wolf. I love Dustin Wolf too. Dustin Wolf, man, what a guy. What an absolute guy. If it wasn't for Celebrini, he would be a Mike Calder. we all know Winnipeg will be out in the first round. I mean, yeah. Hellebuck's putting up a Hart Trophy-worthy performance. If it wasn't for Leon Draisaitl. But people were saying that last year, and he fell apart in the first round. Like, he really did. I really don't think Winnipeg will probably get that far in the playoffs. I don't know. Something about them. I don't trust them. I do not trust the Winnipeg Jets. He lets in like 6 goals a game in the playoffs. I know, it's crazy. He's literally like Hart Trophy goalie in the regular season, and then he turns into like, I don't know. He turns into a pumpkin. Like he really just does. Yeah, I think the Flames becoming that like that Pacific wildcard team is definitely kind of like an interesting development. You know, I thought they would kind of fall off a bit this year. I mean, even more than they had in the past. But I mean, Canucks, even though they won 3 in a row, that Jim Rutherford article, I don't know if you've read it. Oh my God. How do you do? You can't do that. As the president of the team, just go to the Globe and Mail and be like, yeah, our top 2 players are like beefing, and we might not even get to be able to get like a second line center in a trade for one of them. Yeah, what? Why are you doing that, Jim Rutherford? Why are you doing that? Canucks are in an absolute state of disarray. I know, and I know everyone knows it, but I just want to mention that I do think it's very funny that the Flames. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry to my Canuck hosts on Game Over Vancouver. It really sucks to go through what the Canucks are going through right now, but it is very funny that the Flames are better than y'all. You have pumpkin spice yogurt? That's crazy. I didn't even know they make pumpkin spice yogurt. My last thought of the day is Derek Ryan. Oh, how we miss you. You probably did need to get waived, but they could have used you in the shootout tonight. I guess this is our punishment. We'll lose in the shootout because you don't have shootout master Derek Ryan. God bless. Oilers blow it 3-2 to the Red Wings. I mean, Red Wings are probably not in a great spot either. Yeah, they are. I mean, they're only a few points back of I think 1 point back of the wild card. Oh, they've actually won 4 in a row now. That's pretty good for them. I don't really think they'll be a playoff team though. Derek Ryan's time has passed. Yeah, it has. It definitely has, and you can see it on the ice. But still, like he was kind of a breakaway demon. He was kind of a shootout demon. I guess this is the Oilers' punishment for not having him in the lineup tonight. Losing in the shootout to the Red Wings. Oilers will be back, and I will be back for the Game Over crossover episode Saturday night, February 1st against the Toronto Maple Leafs, the 2 top teams in Canada, according to points percentage. I'll see you guys then. I hope you all have a good night. I'll see you on Saturday.